Okay, so very quickly, while Irene is readying herself to do another naming presentation, for those of you who do not know, my name is Philip Brown. I'm the broker of record here at KW Portfolio. I'm the operating principal, which means I just get to do lots for everybody here. And I'm also one half of the Kaushansky Brown real estate team. She is the Kaushansky, gets all of the letters. I'm just Brown. I'm gonna back up. But while we're waiting for Irene to really deliver as much value to you as possible, what are the things you would love to get out of this? And what are the things that you are having some challenges with open houses? You just shout them out.
Or maybe how to ask them if they're currently repped by some other agent.
Yeah. Okay, so how are we vetting?
Yeah, vetting, yeah. Diplomatically or whatever.
We'll call those unagented.
Yeah, they do phone number. Follow up. Phony ID.
Quality follow-up.
On the phone too? Wrong number.
Yeah.
How do I deal with the looky-loos? Tire kickers of the, we call them, in our team, we call them the professional open housers.
Yeah,
It's like a sport.
Yeah.
Saturday 2 to 4. Let's go out and see things. What other things are you hoping to do better at? What do you really want your open houses to do for you?
Generate more leads.
Yeah, generate leads.
To buy or to sell.
How to effectively maximize the amount of people coming in.
Yeah, how to get great attendance?
Yeah.
Best times.
Best times.
Nighttime neighborhood open houses.
Yes, the effectiveness of evenings.
Hey, Josh. Janice. Good. Glad to make it. You want a coffee, tea?
So why don't we start with that? And as we go through, we might add some, and might kind of tick some off. So I see some faces in here that I don't recognize, so welcome, everybody. Hopefully I'll have a chance to meet you before you leave. My name is Irene Kaushansky, also known as Philip's wife. Our team does anywhere from 40 to 50 transactions every year. We're sort of around the 45 to 55 million dollar range, and we are, this past year we've been at about 15% from open houses, but some years we're as high as 20. It really depends, and it's all here. So whoever asked this question, this is actually the biggest portion of that, because I don't know about you, does anybody ever get any business from today's open house? Like you meet somebody and you can actually like transact with them right away? Yeah, rare. Yeah, it's very, very rare. So it's all in the follow-up, and you have to figure out how to separate the tire kickers from the people who you really want to follow up with that have a chance of doing business with you. So my focus today is on the during and after open house. However, so many of your questions I'm already addressing. You got to get the people in first, right? So it's what you do before. And I'll show you some of the things that we're doing to get people in. And let me turn off my phone, because otherwise it's going to be disturbing us. So that's important, because getting them through the door is critical. Otherwise, you don't have anybody to convert, right? Who does open houses regularly? wants to? Who doesn't like them? Whatever, would you like them more if you got more business? Yeah, that's absolutely the case. So let's start with the before, because that's critical. What you do to get people through your door.
You know, I just got looking.
Yeah, James.
I did have someone tell me that not too many agents are interested in doing open houses and stuff. That they tell their clients that it doesn't make that much of a difference for their client. And that's the attitude that I did pick up from previous conversations with some agents.
They're lazy.
Yeah, I get it.
They're lazy, and because of that, they don't want to do open houses, so they think of reasons to tell their clients that they don't work. So for us, I can say anywhere from 15 to 20% of our business every year comes from open houses. They don't have to know when, right? If some clients really don't want an open house, then don't do an open house. But there's lots of agents that have big inventory, right? They couldn't possibly open house everything. So they say they don't work. So either they're too busy and they don't want to do them, or they just don't want to do them.
I think that's it.
Should I get agents say, clients to say, you know what, it's really advertising for you, it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. But I meet lots of clients at every single open house that I do. So I might very well find a house for a buyer for your house from past contacts and vice versa. Yes, I might meet people at your house and I'll go sell them other houses. It's very possible. But I do this all the time so that I build my client base so I can help everybody all the time. Be honest.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, absolutely. It's a promotion for me. And it's a promotion for the rest of my business, which involves you. So before, I don't know who asked about times. Was that you, David?
What?
Yeah, times. So we do like to do Thursday night neighbors wine and cheese open houses. So I'll show you a little bit on that. I also brought a lot of stuff for you guys to look at. But creating buzz to get them in. So you definitely want to do more than just put the open house time on the listing and I'll manage my profile. You have to do that so it's on the listing and so it's on realtor.ca. But you definitely want to do promotion well in advance so that you increase the likelihood of more people coming to your open house. Now you're talking about, hi Mia, how'd you sneak in?
Sneak, I was like an elephant.
So there's a difference here. There's, people who are tire kickers who are really just professional open housers. But sometimes people who are serious but they're not actually house hunting, they mask themselves as tire kickers. So they tell you they're not serious. They tell you they're not doing anything, but really they're potential sellers in hiding. And if you ask them more questions, you have a greater likelihood of uncovering that motivation. And keep in mind too, if we're focusing on follow-up, it could be 3, 6, 12, 36, 48 months before they do something. But if I find somebody who is a willing seller, who's nice, who gives me an indication that they're going to be reasonable, and who likes me and might want to do business with me, why wouldn't I follow up, right? But if you classify everybody in your head as somebody that's not going to be buying that house and they're wasting my time, you're going to miss out on those opportunities. So when I was saying that very little business comes from today's open house, it's usually because if people are going to an open house today, they're either already agented, because they want to buy right now, or they're really far down the road, and you don't know that unless you ask those questions. And you're looking for those people that, if you find one that really is ready to transact today, doesn't have an agent, it's kind of like a bonus, but most of it comes over the long haul. So the Thursday night open houses, we present them as, neighbors open houses. So we do, here we go, we do tell our clients that it's for the neighbors. We have a slightly different flyer for the neighbors because we door knock with those. So we will door knock anywhere from 200 to 300 doors before Thursday. Sometimes we'll start with a coming soon, the week before, and it depends. If it's a really great neighborhood, we'll do more of that. So I'm actually going to put it up here on the screen so you guys can see it a little bit bigger. So you're invited I mean, it's really just our regular, just listed flyer. We never say just listed because that's such a real estate jargon term. I hate it. So our regular flyers are what's happening with real estate in your neighborhood, that kind of thing. So it's a bit of a question, it's a little bit different. People know it's a new listing. So the format of the flyers is very similar. What's happening, there's the address, there are the open houses, a little blurb about the house, what the price is. The neighbor's invite just says, you're invited. And it just says, we're hosting a neighbor's wine and cheese on Thursday from 5 to 7, we'd love for you to join us. So what we're looking for there is obviously sometimes neighbors know other people who want to move on their street, but we're really looking to uncover other sellers too.
Irene, can you put that first one on again? What's the, you have two of them, right?
Yeah, so this is the wine and cheese invite.
Okay, and what was the other one?
And the other one is just the regular listed flyer. It's what's happening with real estate in your neighborhood. I should pass that around as well.
Okay. And that goes out to,
So we typically, we will do, if it's an area where our flyer guy delivers, we will do anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 flyers and have them deliver them, have him deliver them. If it's an area that we have to do Canada Post in, then it'll depend on the postal walk. I don't love doing Canada Post because you just get...
Why?
Because you get bundled with everybody else's junk. Whereas the flyer delivery guys, they have one or two other pieces that they're delivering as opposed to the big pile that people just, you know, they stand over the receipt.
What's typical price for a flyer delivered?
I don't have no idea. That's Bridget. Okay. I just look at them at the end of the month. But the invitations, they go out usually a little bit before and they come with a door knock. So these are us going out and knock, knock, knock. If they're not there, you leave a flyer. If they are there, have a chat. We're listing your neighbor's house. Who do you know that might want to move into the neighborhood? And if you have an opportunity to have a discussion, some people want to chat and some don't, right? If they don't want to chat, just say, I hope to see you. And we do actually have wine and cheese, so we do run around. And we did one in Richmond Hill, and we did one in Richmond Hill, and this lady came in, and she I don't know what it was that I can't remember exactly what she said. I said, so were you just gonna check to see if I really had wine and cheese? She said, well, kinda, because I've never heard of it, right?
Where was it, Canyon Hill or?
Bayview and 16th,
Okay.
or actually Bayview and 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, some door knocking is better than others. It really, the door knocking for this is what increases our attendance. Because people will say, well, I'm not moving. I said, that's okay, I don't want you to move. I just want you to come and see what's going on in the neighborhood. Maybe you know somebody who wants to buy the house, and maybe you just have an idea of what's happening. You know, because everybody wants to be informed. Have some wine. Yeah, where else are you going to get free wine and snacks? And people come just because of that. We did one in Scarborough at Benshire. I don't know, far Scarborough, far. And of course, nobody will ever do anything like that in a neighborhood like that. Yes. So people came and they said, like, what is this? This is so cool. And of course, the real buyers that are coming to that see this buzz going on. So it just increases the excitement about the house. Was there a question?
No, I just wanted a comment as well. A lot of times the neighbors, to them it's like a street party.
Yeah. Oh,
They haven't seen it. It's
yes.
great.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
great. Yeah.
Yes.
They really appreciate it.
They really do, and when we were at 16 Renson, I had, I think, 4 or 5 couples congregating in the living room.
Yeah.
They stayed almost the whole time,
Yeah.
and I actually had an agent come in. She was shopping for herself and her family, and she said, wow, I never get this kind of attendance in my open house. Maybe you can stick with us.
Yeah, I did it for my last listing.
Yes.
And I did the same thing. I did wine and cheese on a Thursday night, and I did door hangers, and I knocked. And I had a huge attendance, almost more than the weekend, which was really good.
Yeah, we've had that happen as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, of course, then, when we get to the during part, you want to be capturing their information and stay in touch with them, right? Because that's important too. It's nice to have the attendance, but
Yeah.
you gotta have this quality follow-up for sure.
Anything we need to be aware of liability-wise with the wine? Like, do you do anything particular?
You're a real party pooper.
I totally am. I'm just curious.
I
Always
pour,
beg for forgiveness.
and like they're
They're
little
like little.
tiny plastic glasses, and I pour like an inch.
Yeah, okay.
And
So-
nobody even drank any at mine. I brought
My
wine and
last
cheese.
one-
Nobody had any, just my
Yeah,
client.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I left it for him.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
like,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
they ate
I mean,
for
it's
you.
such small
They
quantities.
aren't like,
No, I'm not
No.
professional, but I was.
No.
just because I saw one in mine, it wasn't my listing, and the guy later, he was like, I'm worried that, like, I talked to the agent, and he was like, I'm really worried that guy's trusting
This
it.
was in
So, I
secret.
don't know what to say.
Well, you gotta be in control of it. You can't just let them free pour, right? But I've never, touch wood, I've never had that.
That's good, okay. I'm just a little worried.
Was there another question?
Lots of
somewhere?
boozers in my neighborhood.
Okay. So other buzz, so we do a lot of social media promo, we do our personal Facebooks, we do our business page on Facebook. If there's an opportunity, we boost the business page ad, or post and sometimes do an ad. We've started doing little 30-second videos for Instagram. I know for some of you young people are probably laughing at me, but it's a new thing for us. And that gets a lot of traction as well. Actually, the Instagram videos we're doing even before the open house. We're just doing this, hey, coming soon, there's gonna be an open house. So the more you do up front, the greater the likelihood you're gonna have more people, right? And that's what it comes down to. And for our database, we have BombBomb videos that we do. This one, my daughter shot. So they're very short, and they just give like a really quick.
Hi, it's Irene here for the Kaushansky Real Estate Team and Keller Williams Portfolio Realty. This week, our team is in the central west pocket of the city at Edmonton and Oakwood. And here at 91 Union Street, it's a wonderful, quiet street, just steps from the new Eglinton Cross.
It's okay if there's a little shake.
House was
People
built
don't
in
care.
1927. It's filled with original character. We've got French doors, beautiful wood trim, hardwood floors throughout. Lots of natural light from big windows. Plate rail adding to the charm of the living room.
What do you
Lots of
shoot
mechanical
at?
and electrical upgrades.
With a microphone.
Furnace, new roof, and no nox wiring. Big, beautiful renovated kitchen here with a huge pantry and walkouts to the south-facing yard. We've got 3 bedrooms upstairs with a renovated bath, finished basement with another bath, and a private drive. How cool is that in Toronto? We're offering this house at $939,000, and we'll be here for open houses on Spring Sunday, September 28th and 29th. Please stop by if you're in the neighborhood, or pass this video on to someone else who you think might be interested in this fabulous home.
So our subject line is, who do you know that? Or who do you know looking? So our subject line is always, who do you know? Because we've got all kinds of people in our database that aren't actually shopping for a house. So we changed that because I was getting emails like, hey, Irene, thanks. They all think that it's like a very personal email. Thanks, but like, this isn't what I'm looking for. Okay, I know. So we changed that because what we're doing is we're teaching our clients and prospects that we are always looking for buyers. So we're looking for buyers here, there, social media, print, whatever, and through our own database. And we have a little blurb here, and please pass this please pass this email on to anyone you think might be interested, or stop by yourself. We're gonna do a little tweak on Philip's suggestion. We're going to, after it says, please pass this email on, and let us know who you might have sent it to. So we're gonna have like a little call to action maybe and see if that works. Emma, you have?
You send this for every open house you guys do to your
Yeah.
database?
Yeah. And the ones that we do the lifestyle video for, I'm not in it. So the lifestyle video is right here. But it's the same subject line, who do you know? And it's the same little blurb. And it's always like, so this one is, do you know anyone looking for an affordable move-in ready detached home? So we do a really quick synopsis of what it is, so people know what it is, and like, do you know anyone? Oh yeah, no I don't. And I actually get people reply, oh yeah, no I don't, it looks so nice, yeah. Right, so it's all engagement. It's all engagement. Yes?
So for your Instagram 30-second, is it just like a summary of all that?
It's even shorter.
Right.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, like I'll do it either on the street or in front of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, but like very short,
Pretty sure.
like address, price, when it's gonna happen.
Alright, well,
Yes.
How many people for the Thursday night, how many people are you having? Yeah, like yourself and, because you might have a lot of people, so you've got to be looking after people coming in, going out, taking stuff or whatever. How many people are usually with you?
I had my son help me, so.
Just
it was
the
two of
two?
us.
Well, Goran helped me with one.
Yes, I ate, and
Um,
I completed all this.
I usually don't have any in.
Just yourself?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, you're looking at probably anywhere from a low of 8 to a high of 20
People.
groups, not people, groups,
Groups,
right? So it
yeah.
could be like 30, 40 people. But it's spread out over 2 hours, so I don't ever feel the need
Okay,
to bring in crowd control.
yeah, and do you leave the, when they're coming in, you might have a stream, do you just leave the sign in?
I'll get to that.
Okay,
That's the during, I'm still in
Yeah,
the,
okay.
I'm still in the
Sorry.
before, it's 2 o'clock,
Okay.
okay. So the other important thing is do your market research. Do your market research on what's available in the area and what's sold recently so that you can talk intelligently about the house. People are very well informed now. If they're more informed than you, then you're in trouble, right? And if you have an opportunity, if you have the time, even preview the houses that are in the immediate neighborhood that are listed, because you want to be able to talk intelligently about them. There's nothing worse than just standing there and having the client tell you what's going on. Yeah, that's no fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so during, of course, that's the meat of things, and what you do at the open house and how you communicate with people and what you do to establish a relationship will then lead to your quality. Because if you're just standing there and not talking to anyone, the likelihood of you being able to convert anyone after the fact is extremely low. Even if you're engaged with people, sometimes it's hard to convert, right? Because there's just such a high volume of people everywhere. But it's being there, looking for an opportunity to actually connect with somebody and building that relationship right from the start, as opposed to, you know, either here, go look at the house, or you're sitting there on your phone. Right. So during, big thing for me, music. Music.
background music.
Yep, yeah, so I've got my little Bluetooth speaker. There's a few props that are missing, but that's okay, I can tell you about them. My little Bluetooth speaker, I have a iPod open house mix, which is, you know, a little bit upbeat, but not too heavy.
Goran's tape.
And it changes the vibe in the house, and I can't tell you how many compliments I've had from people that have just said, oh, it's so nice when you have music. And it's, I don't know why, you know, not everybody does it. Like, it's just, you know, I really try and have music in our houses, like for showings, right? It just brings it.
It's relaxing, it's like shopping.
But if you have too many people during the open house, my city can't help.
So prep. We have different methods of sign-in. So my main one is an iPad with the Open Home Pro app. Who uses that? Okay, you guys, it's a free app and you have to get it. It is the best thing ever. Now you do need, for it to function better, you need an iPad as opposed to any other tablet. I tried it on my Samsung and it wasn't quite the same. It doesn't have the same functionality.
So what is it? Yeah, what is it?
It is it's an app that you, so I have an iPad with a keyboard,
Okay.
with a little keyboard, because it's easier for people to sign in and they kind of like it because it's different. It's called Open Home Pro. So it is an open house sign-in app. You upload your photos, you upload some information about the property, and then there's 6 standard questions that you can adapt. What's your name? What's your email? Are you working with an agent? I put that right after name and email. Are you working with an agent? If so, what's their name?
Yeah, right.
So when people come in, if I'm talking to anybody, I really do my best to actually meet somebody at the door to say, you know what, I'll be right with you. come to the door. Hi, my name is Irene. What's yours? Kathy, nice to meet you. How did you hear about the open house? My agent sent me. Okay, well, so my agent sent me. Great. Usually I'll just take this and do a really quick, okay, Kathy, what's your last name? Okay, what's your agent's name? Perfect. Here's the material. Have a look around. Let me know what you think. Now, just because Kathy says she has an agent doesn't mean I'm going to ignore her.
Right.
Because sometimes people say they have an agent and they really don't. Because they just want you to leave them alone. So you still want to keep asking questions, because I've had many a time where I had once actually at the open house, these girls said, you know, we actually like you better than the agent that we're working with. So we're going to call her and we're going to cancel our agreement and we want to work with you. Yeah, but you can sort of tell there was another gal that we were just talking about the neighborhood and the sales, and you could sort of tell, like, she's looking, thinking, you know a lot more than I do, and it sounds like more than my agent didn't tell me that, and sure enough, a month later she called.
Really?
And said, I mean, I followed up, but gently,
Yeah.
right? Because she kind of fessed up. She said, well, I am working with her, but she doesn't know the neighborhood, and I don't think she's doing a very good job,
Yeah.
right? But again, so it's a fine line, right? You don't want to waste your time because you want to look for the people that aren't agented, but you don't want to ignore them completely. Look, it's an art. You get 5 groups of people coming through your house at the same time. You really have to be good at figuring out who you want to talk to. So I introduce myself. Are they engaged with me, or are they dismissive and they just go into the house, right? If they're not going to want to talk to me, I may not want to chase them, right? Like, out of all the people that come through an open house, you want to do your best to focus on the ones that might actually turn into business. So how did you hear about the open house? Great. I'm going to get you to start in the dining room with me. I've got a sign in. Please sign in. Write down your agent's name for me if you have one. And that's such a great line, because they'll say, oh, perfect, where's the spot? And they'll actually type their agent's name. Or they'll say, oh, I don't have one, is that okay? Or no, we're not working with one, or whatever. And you go, okay, well, that's fine, just hit continue and go to the next. And there's a phone number and an address. And then, when are you looking to buy? Right now, 0 to 3 months, 3 to 6 months, 12 months, not sure. We're just looking. There's a little just looking field, right? Because you want to give them that opportunity. If people really are not wanting to be engaged in a transaction right now, you want to give them the space for that. Because if they feel you're going to give them the space, they might very, very well come back to you if you do your follow-up. See, it's all in the follow-up. Right. So I do have the sign-in sheet, paper sign-in sheet as a backup. If it gets busy, I don't want people kind of hovering around the iPad, so I'll give them one of these. You know, sometimes if they're very, very old, or if they prefer the paper, I'll give them that as an option. Look.
It's completely the same.
What's completely the same?
I mean, the text.
No.
No? It's different?
Well,
on iPad?
There's a lot more
Okay.
here. The iPad is just questions.
Okay.
Here we have a lot more. Like we actually have, when would you like to move, for what type of home, any notes, and some people fill it out. Awesome. And we also have, would you like our newsletter, and would you like to know about any other listings that come up in the future? Yeah?
I really, I have not converted open houses ever, it's not my strength. And one thing I really find is when people go with the open house sign, like the paper one, they're giving me false names.
Or they're scribbling.
Yeah. Scribbling, or they're saying they're working with an agent, and then I say, oh, who's your agent? Because they know they're good liars. And then they say, blah, 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 they make up a name, and I'm like, oh yeah, I know them. Like, just to be playing with them, because I'm getting angry now, so, do you find a better conversion, because if I'm gonna go out and buy an iPad, do you find a better conversion when it's electronic?
Category.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Well, they can't scribble, right?
Right,
Yeah.
no, they can't scribble. They can still, if they really want to, they'll give you the wrong information. Also, just let them do whatever they're doing on the iPad, because then when you engage them and talk to them, if they either like the house, because when they're signing in, they don't even know if they like the house yet. If they like the house or they like you, and you say, oh, okay, let me just make sure that, I've got your email, they'll say, oh, you know what, let me give you a better one.
Yeah, I
Or,
have
oh, you know what, that's not the best phone number to reach me on, and they change it, they'll give you the right stuff, but you have to have that engagement there. Because if you don't, there's just, they're lost, right?
Can we suggest, please give us the false one and later you will.
Put the false one on paper and use the tablet to
Be welcoming. Oh, another thing, so my very short script is, come please sign in for me, write down your agent's name if you have one. I'll give them the listing and the floor plan and what we have. I don't give a color feature sheet to everybody. I have them stacked on the table. I say, here's the information, here's the listing, here's the floor plan. If you have a look around, if you like the house, I'll give you a color feature sheet on the way out. Because otherwise you're, going through lots. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing is, try not to sputter out too much stuff about the house at that point. Because you don't know what they're looking for, and you might just be yapping. So if there's something special, like this Richmond Hill house, I would say to them that it was a custom-built home. It's over the last 4 years, it's had the kitchen, all the bathrooms upgraded, they added an ensuite bath, whatever it was that I said. So things that maybe wouldn't be obvious, but don't do this is how many bedrooms, and this is that. They can tell that. So when if you're going to say anything about the house before they look at it, just make it very specific or let them look around. I say, have a look around, come back and let me know what you think.
You trust them to walk around by themselves freely?
Yes. I tell my sellers not to ever leave anything around. Actually, I had one open house
Unless
person.
they have knapsacks, they have to leave them at the door because there's been problems with guys.
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually had one open house person come back down and kind of take me aside and say, you know what, there's some money out that you're probably gonna wanna move. Like I hadn't checked and the money was there. Yeah, but you don't wanna risk it.
Also, one other thing, on the safety side, there is a safety course available. I think Marvin, you took it.
Oh, yes.
Mary's course, and not to have any, I know it's gross, any knives that, like butcher knives or anything like that, especially if you're a woman and you're there by yourself.
No scissors, any kind of sharp object that somebody could pick up.
Oh, you gotta take
possible.
I'm not gonna wanna do an open house.
Unfortunately, there are professional people who do this, and they'll design to come in, grab a knife and hold you, get your purse and go, or whatever. You just have to be careful. That's why that safety course is.
And is it? Sorry, you said Maureen. Is it Maureen?
Well, they offer it. It's through Mary Fernell Johnson. Mary Fernell Johnson. She gives a great course, and it's really fantastic. There's a lot of things like that to know, especially at an open house. And the knife, she always said, make sure the knives are not on display. Put them away in the block, under the thing or whatever. And there are some other things in there.
Well, actually, our stagers say put away the sharps.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Isn't it even terrible? Isn't it even terrible that we have to have this conversation?
It's pretty bad, but
Yeah. Okay. And I actually did forget something in the before. I want to mention it. I want to give them a plug before I forget again. We have an open house sign installation company that we hire. Yeah, it's not Open House Boy. I know they got very, very busy. It's openhousedelivery.ca. It's actually Ken Yim. Yeah, from Referred Urban. Yeah, it's him and one of his property management partners. 10 signs, they put them up an hour before, they take them down an hour after. And if you look at, like, never mind even a Thursday open house, if you just look at Saturday and Sunday, you're looking at 15-20 minutes to set them up, same time to set them down, same time for the next day. You're looking at anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes of your time that you're just standing there putting something down, right? It's too hot in the summer, it's too cold in the winter, it's snowy, it's raining, you get stuff, ladies, we get them caught in our ankles and in our pantyhose. It's a lifesaver. It's been for us so worth the investment.
Or do you know? You don't know?
I don't. I was trying to remember. I think for all 3 days, they charged us $250.
Okay.
Don't quote me.
Yeah.
They do have their prices on their website. But
And what are they called
between
again? Sorry.
openhousedelivery.ca.
That's good.
David's offering his services for $50.
We have
You know, you have to sort of, you have to figure out what your time is worth and if this is worth it for you. For me, it is, right? And for my team members, if they can just show up at an open house and not have to worry about lucky signs, that's a big benefit.
How many do you put out?
Right now, we're putting out 10 because that's what they have. They have a program for 10 or 20. Once we sort of regroup and redo everything, that I'll probably do like more like 15 or 20.
So they're getting just over $4 a sign for putting out, taking down.
I don't know if
If you think the time it takes, and they will customize the signs too, right?
Right.
So if you think the time it takes, you know, writing or whatever, yeah, it's worth it.
And they store them too?
Don't even, yes, they do. Yeah, they do.
Oh, see, that's.
10 yen? I know, I'm getting that.
Yeah, it's, and the thing is, you know, especially if it's been a busy open house and you're like, tired, you just lock the door and you leave. And
That's
it
brilliant.
really is. It's not just the physical time, it's the mental time. And if you've got an appointment beforehand, you don't have to rush because you want to get your signs up. So there's a lot of benefit to it, not just, yeah, it really is. It's very, very helpful. Now, watch, he'll get so busy, he won't have time for us.
That's what happens.
Okay, so we're in the house, people are going through marketing materials. We have a whole plethora. I'm just gonna, I don't know if you want to pass these down en masse, but we've got the luxury magazines where we advertise. We won't put this in a $900,000 fixer-upper because it doesn't really look that good, but anything sort of 1.5 and up, we'll put these. But we have our newsletters that we put out. So I take like some area in the kitchen or the dining room somewhere other than where the information on the house is. So we've got our flyers that we put out. We did this piece, wondering what to do with your home, sell, renovate, or rent. So we have these. We actually did these in our farm, and the extras we just have at the open house for people to pick up. I have a little sign that says, please help yourself. For our West End listings, actually for a number of our listings, we might be based in the West, but we want you to see homes we sell all over the city. And this was a flyer that we put together. It was a farm flyer, but we now have these at our open houses with all of the different neighborhoods that we service because it's nice for people to see. There's a lot of people that still think that agents are completely geographically bound. Like I'm in Etobicoke and somebody asked me if I work Markland Woods. It's like just over there. Yeah, but that's, you know, sometimes people, especially if they're not in the market actively, they don't know that. Oh, you're at Yonge and Eglinton, would you do something like at Yonge and Shepherd? And then notepads and magnets. Just things to give out to people. Any questions or the thoughts about during?
Irene,
Yes.
do you have to order the books, the luxury books?
Well, we get them because we advertise in them, and we always have some at the office here.
Okay.
We have our little section at the back for Canada. Where is it? So we always have, we just actually got this shipment in at home.
126 or 123. How many do they give you for advertising?
I don't know. It was like 4 giant boxes.
Wow.
Bridget said because they increased the size. So this is the second edition of this particular issue. They used to be just house ads and it was half the size. Now they've put an editorial. They've done an amazing job of actually doing some profiling of Toronto because I've had some influence in that. So I think they said 50, but they're so thick that it's like 4 giant boxes. They got delivered yesterday. I said to Bridget, what is this?
Very nice.
Do they have an online version of that?
They do.
Could you just advertise online? I'm just
You
thinking
can.
of a condo.
If you're not in the luxury division, you can advertise online. I believe it's $1,300. But I looked into that for somebody
The
else.
right place.
Yeah.
Irene, do you make any difference in your approach when you are doing your own open houses and when you're doing open houses for someone else close to you? Completely the same.
Well, if someone's doing if you're doing an open house for somebody, you want to have all your branded stuff, and you're
Yeah.
going to print out the listing with your info on it. So-
Okay, then that was a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, during, the most important thing, your first job is to try and sell the house.
Yeah.
I'm talking about lead generating. I wrote that down and completely ignored it. So that's important for a few reasons. And first of all, that really is your job. Like, let's be honest, you're doing this to try and sell the house. The other thing is, if you don't focus on selling that house first, people notice.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many of our buyers say if they've gone into an open house and the agent started trying to sell them other listings, which happens regularly, their other listings, they get really turned off. So keep that in mind. Make sure they're not a candidate for this house before you try and convert them for anything else. So the first thing that I ask when they come back down or up or wherever they went is, Marvin, what did you think? Is the house anything like what you're looking for?
Oh.
Right? Great. And you know what, it depends on what I saw. Would it be helpful if I kept you in the loop of anything that's similar to this that might suit you better? Would you like to know about other houses that might suit you better? Or would you like this, or would you like that, whatever. You know what, I didn't notice if you're working with an agent. It doesn't matter, I always look if I can. But you know, I didn't have a chance to look. Are you working with somebody that you trust to help you find your home?
No.
No? Okay, so then you take the next steps. Perfect. I'm like, oh. Then when are you looking to get settled? Is it something that you're looking at this year or further down the road?
Probably next year.
Yeah, next year? Okay, terrific. So about when? Like 6 months, 12 months, or further than that?
9 months?
Yeah? Okay, what has to happen before you're ready to buy?
We just getting a new job over there.
Ah,
So
okay.
that's why.
You can't argue with that one, right? Right? Like they have to have a new job before that. So terrific. Between now and then, do you want to know about houses that come up? Would it help you to get educated about the market?
Yeah, we just
Yeah?
want to
Okay.
get you.
Well, you know what I'll do? I'll set you up with a search for your criteria. Don't use the words prospect match. Nobody knows what it is.
Yeah.
And do your best to avoid real estate jargon. We talk it every day. We're so used to it. It rolls off our tongue. Offer, hold off, prospect match, all that stuff. A lot of people don't know what it means, or even if they've heard it, they don't know exactly what it's about. Can I set up a search criteria for you and maybe put you on an automatic email drip? So I won't bother you too much until you're ready, but at least you'll be kept in the loop of what happens. Would that help you, Marvin?
Great.
Perfect. What I'll also do is I'll email you our buyer's package, because you're not ready yet, but at some point you're going to need somebody to help wade you through this crazy market. And if you've reviewed our information and we have an opportunity to talk with you about that, I'd love that opportunity.
Great. Sounds
Right? That's it. If he needs a new job,
That's really good.
if he needs a new job, he's not going to buy anything. I don't know, maybe it'll be 6 months, maybe it'll be 12.
Yeah.
But if they say something like, I don't know, maybe I haven't seen enough, then I move to sending the buyer package and sitting down for buyer consultation sooner. So you know what, I know you probably don't want to move for about 6 to 9 months, but if I could show you how buying now could actually save you more money down the road, would it be worth 30 minutes of your time?
Yeah.
Right? I stole that from Tuan Tran.
I was gonna say,
I
that
use
sounds
it all the
familiar.
time.
That's a good one.
It's a really good one. If I could show you ... would it be worth spending your time? You want to focus on them. You want to come from contribution, right? It's all about them. It's not about you. Also, the more questions you ask, the more you're going to control the conversation. Don't ever assume that you understand what somebody says, even if they've given you a very, it seems to be a straight answer, but you don't know until you ask. So ask as many questions as you possibly can. Ask as many open-ended questions as you possibly can. About the only time that I will ask a closed-ended question is this house anything like what you're looking for? Because I am looking for a yes or no. I really want to know, do they want this house or not? If they do, sell them the house.
Yes.
If they don't, then you go with the next steps. But everything else is as open-ended as possible, so that you can get as much information as possible.
Would you tape anything on your cell phone? That technology's there. Okay, I just wondered if you do. Some people I've heard do that.
I go back to the iPad and I make it in there.
Yeah, you could leave your phone right there and capture everything.
I guess you could.
It's so good now, I mean, they have apps there. for
One
free.
more piece of technology that I have to manage.
Yeah, you just leave it running, and you've got it in case you forget something or whatever. I mean, I don't, but I've heard people do that.
I guess it's a possibility,
Yeah,
I guess if you
yeah.
wanna do that, yeah. Open house, oh, I had a thought, okay, it'll come back to me.
Sorry,
That's okay. I'm kind of going out of order here, but that's fine, I'm getting all my information. Don't use guys. Hey, you guys, or something like that. It's pretty impolite.
Don't you what?
What do you?
Guys.
Guys.
Hey, guys, how you doing, guys?
Oh.
Yeah. You want to be friendly and approachable, but you still want to be professional, and guys isn't professional. If you've been working with somebody for 6 months and you're like chummy and you know you can do that, then do that. Don't do that at the beginning. It really gives an air of unprofessionalism. I don't know why. I just find, you know. that's
What's an alternative? Just,
folks.
oh, folks, okay, that's good, yeah.
Just say how.
Yeah, how are you?
Yeah. The other thing, because you're always interviewing at open houses, right? You're looking for buyers, but you're also being interviewed by sellers, which goes back to the tire kickers. Are they actually tire kickers or are they sellers in hiding? So if somebody comes to the door, you know, how did you hear about the open house? I got your flyer. Great. Are you looking for another house? If they got a flyer, they're in the area. Are you looking for another house in the area, or are you just trying to get a sense of what things are selling for? Because then you're giving them, like, you've just freed them up to not put any pretense on, right? Because you've just given them the freedom to just look around. Oh yeah, I'm just trying to get a sense of, you know, whatever. Can I let you know what the house sells for when it sells? Oh yeah, I'd really like that. Guaranteed you're gonna get the right information then, because they wanna know what the house is for.
Yeah,
I have that on my thing.
Yeah, so, actually,
that's a good one.
we also
Everybody
have,
always checks yes.
Yeah.
Always.
yeah, we also have a rate this house sheet. We stole this from Trish Mush at Neighborhood. It's good for a lot of reasons, but it's also great, you know what, if somebody hasn't signed in, if it's been busy, or maybe they've been hesitant and you haven't been able to establish that rapport, we give away a $25 gift card of your choice if you're the closest to the guess of the price, right? They'll give you the right information then, right? And this is,
We changed it though.
what's that?
He wants to give 100.
You have-
We changed
Too
that.
much.
Did we
No.
go down? Did we-
We're at
And
50 now.
this sits right by the front door, so if you really need it, like if they see it, go, oh, great, can you fill this out for me? But if you haven't been able to get their information, if it's right by the front door, say, hey, you know what, one more thing. We always like to get feedback from real people at open houses, and we love your thoughts on the house, and we're also giving away a gift card as well. We just say gift card of your choice.
Yeah.
Because then they can pick whatever they
Yeah,
want.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of
And you know they'll give you the right
Yeah,
information then.
that's good.
Listen, if people don't want to give you the right information,
Yeah.
just worry about the people. It's the principle of sacrifice. Don't worry about the people that don't want you. Focus on the people that do. Okay, so now that I've been yapping, afterwards, who has an 8x8 program? Do you guys know what an 8x8
Yeah,
is?
I know it is, but I don't have it.
Keller Williams has a follow-up system called 8x8. When you meet somebody that is not ready to transact right away, you've got 8 touches in 8 weeks. Many of the KW systems already have them built in. Command's gonna have it built in. The top producer version for Keller Williams has it built in. You kind of want to customize it so it's not so cheesy. For us, it's a handwritten note card with a magnet, newsletter, phone call, something about buying the house, something else about buying the house, another phone call, and then a notepad. So 8 touches over 8 weeks. Now this is for people who aren't ready. This is for you to solidify your validity and, I was gonna say benefit, that's not the right word. It just shows them that you could be a good option for them when they're actually ready to transact. So the 8x8 is that first initial period. Maybe it's not like every week, maybe like, you know, if you're gonna send a newsletter and then a phone call, maybe the next thing is 4 days, but whatever, it's 8 touches. And you know what, Heidi, I know that you said you're not looking to buy right away, but I did want to stay in touch with you and make sure that you're getting my information. Are you getting it?
Yes, I am, thank you.
Right? And is it okay? Do you mind if I periodically just check in with you? I'm not going to hound you, I promise.
No.
But if they say no, don't. Right? Like, it's so simple. People aren't gonna wanna do business with you. Like, this is a numbers game for us. As much as we want to foster relationships, it's a numbers game. You're only gonna get the quality in the quantity. If you don't have the quantity, you're not gonna be able to get the quality out. Or you will, but your business is gonna be this big, right? Because if you don't talk to enough people, you're just not gonna have, if everybody that you're talking to says yes to you, you're not talking to enough people. Kind of what it comes down to. As far as weekend follow-up, if somebody is really interested in the house, or if they seem to be really keen to meet with you, I will follow up over the weekend. I won't wait until Monday. So I'll do a, here's the home inspection, and follow up over the weekend. Everybody else gets followed up on Monday morning. And that's where I go through all of the iPad notes or the handwritten notes. Sometimes I have a combination of both. If you don't do it on Monday, you're gonna forget. And it's better for them for you to follow up on Monday, because then the greater likelihood they'll actually remember. Right? You remember I met you at the 91 Butte open house? Yeah, we were there on Saturday, we talked about your baby, I know you live around the corner, whatever. That's why you gotta make notes, because you're not gonna remember everything. They're so impressed if you remember stuff. I had somebody that was impressed that I remembered their name by the time that they walked through the open house. Because she said, like, there's all these people, how did you remember my name? Good party trick. Yeah?
Do you call or email the people that seem interested in it on the weekend?
I email them first.
And then you
Well,
call
it
them.
depends on how I left the conversation.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll say, well, I'll email you the information, I'll email and then call.
And then you call, right?
Yeah,
Like a
and
day later kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or maybe as part of the Monday calls?
it depends on what the interaction was at the open house, right? And same thing in the Monday calls. Like, sometimes people leave and I haven't had a chance really to talk to them. So, but they've given me their information, so I'll either call, if they didn't leave a phone number, sometimes they don't, I'll send an email. James, it was so nice to meet you on Saturday. So sorry we didn't have a chance to talk. Wondering, I realize the house there is not good for you, wondering if I can help you, if we can help you find something else. Right? And sometimes I have to say, you know what, James, it was so great to meet you. I'm so sorry it got so busy after you left that I didn't have a chance to make notes on our conversation. Was there something else specific that I told you I was going to do that I didn't do? Just fess up.
Yeah.
Right? And then you're a bit more honest and a bit more genuine. Right? But the other part of this is figuring out how often you want to stay in touch with them. Like, we have a call schedule for our nurturers. If they're quite hot, well, if they're really, really hot, we try to get them for an appointment. But if they're sort of 3 to 6 months, I will call them every 3 weeks. Hey, you ready to meet? You ready to meet? If they're sort of 6 months to 12, 18 months, maybe I'll call them every 3 months. So I have them grouped. I'll tag them with the address of the house, so that if something else comes up, I can pull them up, and I'll also tag them with their urgency. So right now, we're just in the process of revamping our whole database.
What do you use instead?
Right now, we're on Top Producer. I've been on Top Producer since 1992. I was on Top Producer when it was floppy disks. Like, some of you don't even know what floppy disks are. You're too young.
So you really like Top Producer?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
But you're staying with, you're not going to?
Oh, we are.
You are?
Yeah, we're absolutely going to, because Command seems to have, or will have, all of the functionality that we're doing there, plus all of these other systems that we're using outside of Top Producer. It
Will be
put it all-
integrated.
Yeah.
So you'll give it up, you
DocuSign.
actually give up Top Producer?
We'll give up 3 of the 4 accounts, because I've got an account, both of my admins have an account, and Robin has an account. So we're gonna keep mine, because mine is the cheapest, it's $25 a month, and that is my whole business. If somebody blew up Top Producer headquarters and infiltrated there, I would be. Yeah, so we will move over to Command. We're slowly doing that now.
That
Yeah.
says a lot for Command.
Yeah, but I'm still gonna keep that. And you know what, the income and expense program,
Well, okay, that's.
ladies,
Yeah,
we're
that's
not done
time
yet.
to.
A couple of minutes and I'll let you out of here. The income and expense program is so simple there, and it pulls out the HST, and at $25 a month, it's the same as QuickBooks. And it's just, it's so simple.
What is
Money,
that?
Top Producer. the
Oh, that-
income and expense program in Top Producer, which I've been using since 1992. And it's a very, very simple income, expenses, you can create whatever categories you want, you can create subcategories, you organize everything by categories, subcategories, and then, like, it's just so simple.
So is
And-
Command gonna have something like that?
I don't know, it doesn't yet.
They'll probably build.
I would
Yeah.
imagine eventually
They'll build it.
it will. But for the time being, it's the same as QuickBooks. We tried to move over to QuickBooks, it was so confusing for us. And it didn't give us the same reports. Like now, when I pull up a report from Top Producer, I can see exactly what we're spending on lead generation because that's the category. Exactly what we're spending on listings. Okay, what are we spending on cleaning? Like everything is just so organized, it's really easy to understand. Yeah.
Good if Command comes up with that.
I'm sure they
Somebody
will.
should put it into labs.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
does.
I'm sure it will.
Probably.
Prospect matches we talked about, add house tag. So the other thing, even when you're on the phone or on email, that's a good opportunity to keep asking questions. You know, if they're not ready to do something right now, well, again, and you know, reiterate again, when might it be? What has to happen? You know, do you have somebody that will help you? Because sometimes they say they don't have anybody and then all of a sudden they have an agent. Right, so the more you stay in touch regularly, and this is critical. Like I will spend 8 to 10 hours a week just on follow-up. So whether it's a phone call, a text, some people just respond to text better, or an email. Sometimes I'll leave a voicemail and then follow it up with an email. Hey, I just left you a voicemail, sending this here in case it's easier for you to reply. Anything change with your plans? Right, so it's just consistent and constant, and you know, either until they do something with you or they tell you to stop.
If you're calling someone, you said 8 times, maybe every week for 8 weeks, say?
No, the 8x8
Oh.
is 8 touches.
Oh, okay,
So
8
in there
touches,
for
okay.
us is 2 phone calls.
So you don't really call somebody every week?
No.
That's difficult. I was gonna ask
Oh,
you,
no.
how do you do
I-
that?
oh.
Because they would get really angry.
They
and
would.
say,
Yeah, absolutely. No, no,
I was
no,
gonna
no.
say,
No.
okay.
I got my ducks cleaned yesterday.
You got your ducks cleaned, it finally worked. Phoning 7 times a week.
Do you know
Actually pays off.
what's so funny? There was a time that we needed our ducts cleaned. There actually was.
And you're like,
I had
who
no
could we do
idea who
this?
to call. It was such a funny moment. It's like, well, they call you every other time. They're calling me on my cell now. I guess they called everybody.
Yeah.
Effectiveness
No
of,
one today says it.
what is that?
Evenings?
Oh, evenings, okay, we covered that. So, you know, the other thing, I just want you guys to make sure you don't miss this. Like, you're really mining for sellers too, right? And keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, because so many people that are walking through your open house today might turn into a listing in the future. So be really conscious of that as well.
And best times on the weekends at 1 to 4, 1 to 4?
We
2 to
just
4?
do 2 to 4.
2 to 4?
You know what, if we're in a high traffic area near a school, we might do like 10 to 12 or 11 to 1 if there's activities going on in the school. If there's a school fair, we've done that too, but people kind of expect 2 to 4, you might as well give it to them. But the Thursdays, I'm starting to see a lot, like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 5 to 7 or 6 to 8.
It was big in the east already a few years back, and now it seems to be migrating to the center.
Yeah. What you don't want to do is do it in a very low traffic area, like if it's really hard to get in, then you're not.
Do you just do one Thursday night, or do you do, and the weekends? Or do you do every weekend?
Well, we hope not to do it every weekend.
I know, but.
Yeah, we hope the property sells. So it depends. If it doesn't, we'll probably do the second weekend and then give it a break, because otherwise it gets
But
stale.
just the one Thursday night?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And also on the flyer, wherever that is, we do promote the, like Thursday 12 to 1 or whatever, the agent's open house time, we actually put it on the Just Listed flyer too. Because there's people at home, right? They might want to come out.
For sure.
Anything we haven't covered or anything you guys thought of? No?
So when you said you send as part of the 8x8 something in the mail at some point, like a magnet,
Mhm.
so you're always collecting full mailing address if people are willing to give it to you?
Yes.
As part of your sort of roster check-in?
How long do you think, have you tracked, I feel like you guys would, you folks would have
You can say guys to us.
I'm just trying to practice also because I deal with a lot of clients that are like trans and genderqueer. They
Right.
hate guys.
Right,
They,
yeah.
they fired Cynthia Diaghior
Oh,
team
right.
because they wouldn't respect their pronouns. So I just, before,
Sorry,
the
I
whole
forgot to
day I
add more
practiced
time than I
folks,
needed.
folks, folks, folks,
Right.
folks. All day I just kept saying it so that
Yeah.
I didn't go and say the wrong thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
anyway, but yeah, like, see, I've just not, I've had success in other areas, but not open houses ever. What do you think, like, how long does it take generally to start seeing the results? So you do an open house January 1st, 2020, there's no.
Anywhere from a month to
Mhm.
2 years, 3 years.
15 years for
So you keep in touch after that 8x8, are you putting them on a
Keeping in touch.
33?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah.
You never give up, basically, with them.
And until,
They tell you that.
if they say to stop, yes, I will stop.
And
Of
even
course.
then give them
It's
a
another
follow-up.
program that we do.
Or even-
I'm sure you meant, since they hate you. I put out my first spam, and from a guy I worked with in DC, he wrote, and I was nice as pie, I'm like, I'm certain you didn't mean that. Do you mind if I sign you up for this other thing?
Before you guys go, can I get a couple of ahas or something that you learned that maybe you didn't know before?
Oh, I know, the iPad thing, I like that.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm gonna, well, I was thinking about doing it because I find when people write, they scrawl. So this way, even if they want to lie, at least I can read it.
Open house rating.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I love
Great.
that. That's a
I
great
like that
idea.
bit.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
The Twantran, would it be worth
Worth
30
20 minutes of your time.
for the,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, because it really is just, it's so non-threatening, right? Just let me, come and talk. It's all about a conversation.
Yeah.
I don't have to pin you down to a contract.
The 10 signs,
Oh, yeah?
the
Well, how many do you
open
usually do?
houses. 4, 5,
Yeah, same.
you know.
But I guess it's easier to put it to 10 with the delivery service.
But, yeah, go ahead.
I just have a question.
So I have.
Just like an average, I'm with Harvey Callis. We always talk about in our office, sort of like the average number of open houses it takes to actually get someone to be some sort of a client, even if they're renting, buying, selling. And I know it's tough because you might do open houses for 3 months straight and not find someone, and then 2 in a row. But do you find that you're able to get a client 1 in every 10 open houses, 20 open houses? Like, if you had to ballpark it, do you have any idea? Like,
If I'm happy if I get 3 qualified leads at an open house.
Yeah.
And that, for me, that is somebody who is either moving or isn't moving and they're willing to refer us to other people. Because sometimes, you know, you've got the neighbors, they're not gonna move forever,
Yeah.
but you've had a good relationship with them, you've had a good interaction with them. I do the agent of choice. So what's your name, sorry?
Josh.
Josh, if somebody that you knew had to buy or sell a house, do you have an agent that you trust that you would recommend to them?
Right.
Oh, no. Well, you know what? I would really like the opportunity to earn that right. Do you mind if I just stay in touch with you periodically so you can see how we work? So that if you come across somebody that needs to move, you can recommend us?
Yeah.
Right? So it's got one of those 2 things. And not an agent. Or like not with not so if I have 2 or 3 of those from an open house, I'm happy.
Fair.
This is where you guys are really good, and I'm not as well. Because
Not yet.
Not yet, but I want to get better. Almost all of my listings sell on bullies.
Don't do
Don't
it.
sell them.
I know, but like, I tell my sellers, I'm like, no, I think we can do better on offer night. Like, listen, we'll get a bidding, we're going, if you're getting this, stay the course, and they won't do it. They're all
Oh, really?
chicken.
To control.
Chicken.
But how? I can't force
You
them.
know, you
Set
can't, you can't force
To take
them.
control.
No, sign the list, you tell them they're not gonna look at preemptive.
Yeah, I would put it on the MLS with your client's
Yeah,
permission.
just talk to them about it.
Nobody will come with
Yeah,
one.
because the agents
They
get that
still
too.
do.
They do.
Well,
No,
yes,
they
but not as
even
many.
do with
No?
no, they're not looking. I
Yeah.
still get it.
Yeah, the agents get mad.
I mean, they're high, like the bullies are good. Like
Yeah.
Right.
I at the same time, I'm kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, you want marketing, right? So yes, your
Yeah,
first job,
you
again,
want
your first job is to
It
sell a
makes my
house.
stats
Sale.
good, but I never get, like, my stats are, my average days on market is 4 days on market.
Right.
So
That
do-
looks great on a postcard, but at the
Yeah.
same time, I can't get to these open houses to practice.
But then can you do, like the weekdays, 5 to 7?
It sounds like I
At
need
least,
to
wouldn't it
get it
look-
like the day I list or whatever, is do the open house that night.
Well, you do want the ability to meet the neighbors I'm talking from. But then,
Maybe
you have,
previews.
so you have.
People are doing those open house previews on the, like, night before it lists or whatever.
Right.
And so what I used to do, when I'd have like the just listed book, a long time ago, I used to say just listed.
Sell 20.
We like it.
We sell
So,
20.
and then I would door knock that to the area, and if it sold, like in a preemptive or whatever,
Yeah, that's
I would
also
just
an
get them to
opportunity.
rerun it with a big red sold on it and still door knock.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we just missed this, but in case if you wanna know about it or what
Yeah.
it sold for, happy to share with you.
Yeah, yeah. I know every listing is a marketing opportunity. Josh?
Yeah.
Just wondering how you deal with sort of the following obstacle. I find a lot of times at open houses you meet these potential leads, and I'll talk to them about possibly setting them up on an MLS search or different things that come up in the course of the conversation. And people often say, well, I can just go on realtor.ca or I can find it. So I guess what sort of other value propositions do you talk about when you meet people of things that you can offer them?
Yeah, so definitely when it comes to the realtor.ca, you can say, you know what, yeah, some information is up there, but it's not as complete as what we have. And also, if I just have a rough idea of what you're looking for, I can target that search so that you're seeing only what's really most important to you. And you're getting it in real time, and you're getting a fuller version of the listing.
Yeah.
Also, we have coming soons and exclusives that sometimes don't even make it to market.
Sure, and I mentioned, for
Right.
sure those are good too.
Yeah.
And that, we're looking on social media and we're active and we're talking to neighbors. But yeah, I just was wondering if there were other things, but it sounds like we're on a similar page.
Does anybody else want a rate this house?
I'll take yours.
I have my own. I'm not giving it.
Mia, do you want one?
Yes. I will probably write down the phone number. That was,
Thanks for coming, guys.
I mean, this is video, okay, right?